Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome to the show where we interview, where we interview the nation's leading real estate entrepreneurs. Welcome back if you're joining us for the second, third, or 100th time, and welcome to it if you've never been here before. You're going to get a ton of value out of this today. I am here with David Steckel, and we are going to talk everything about his experience of over 2 decades in the business of running mortgages, DSCR loans, closing in an LLC, non-QM loans, and all in between. So we're super excited to get into this. Just remember, here at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their businesses to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted, to allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. With that being said, David, welcome to the show today, brother.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Man, I'm super excited to talk about this topic with you today on all things mortgages and how you're able to actually help investors who might be needing to get non-qualified, non-traditional loans for their properties, being able to close, how they can do that, any tips, tricks, and tactics, so that way they can go and acquire more properties, make more money. But before we get all into that, give us just a little bit of background on you. I know we had a minute to talk before the show started. Give us a little background on where you started, how you got started in mortgages, and what's got you to where you're at today.
Yep. Yeah, real quick, like a year out of college, I got into the mortgage game. That was back in 2003. Rates had just started dipping. I was selling telecommunications down in Philly. And somebody's like, man, you should get into the mortgage gig. So I got into the mortgage gig, and rates were on their way down there. I started out refinancing veterans all across Pennsylvania, preset appointments. I would just drive all over the place. I was in my car nonstop, running like 6 to 8 appointments a day, and really like helping veterans. And that was like the most fulfilling part of my career so far. Fast forward 3 years later, I moved home from Texas. And got into the real mortgage world, conventional, and, have obviously been through 08, been through ups and downs. And, it's like 17 years later. And just recently, like the last 6 to 8 months, I've shifted my focus to non-QM loan products. A few reasons why. Number one, the last 2 or 3 years have been rough, and competition is 50% as what it was 3 years ago. 50% of loan officers are gone. 50% of agents are gone. Inventory is a problem. Interest rates are high. It's been rough. It's been the worst 2 to 3 year, stretch in the mortgage industry ever. And I just got sick of like swimming in that red ocean, man. Like everybody's going after the same type of business. And I saw an opportunity with, the whole AI thing, and like just how things are changing as far as like how people make money. This non-QM thing just started, popping into my head, and the whole investor space thing started popping into my head. I found out about the DSCR loan.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And I found out, and just kind of figured like, look, man, like entrepreneurs, self-employed borrowers are a thing, and they're handcuffed. And since 2008, Fannie and Freddie have abandoned them. There's no more stated loans. And it's like, these people are the ones that built our country, built this world, took risks, made sacrifices, sleepless nights, not knowing where their next check's coming from, to create opportunities for the salaried employee. And we make it harder for that guy, the self-employed guy, to get a loan than the salaried employee who's staring at a clock from 3 o'clock on waiting to go home. You know what I mean? It's not right? Like if both of these people lost their jobs, I would think the self-employed guy, I'd bet on him to be able to make his mortgage payment before this guy, right? And these guys, even with non-QM loans, it's still a higher rate. And it just doesn't make sense. But you add into the fact that, like, you bring in AI, these 9 to 5 jobs in the next 5 to 10 years are gone. They're going to be gone. There's going to be more entrepreneurs than there ever has been. You're not going to have a choice. You're going to have to make your own money. You're going to have to figure out a way to make your own money. So this non-QM space is going to explode. The need for these loans for entrepreneurs and self-employed borrowers is going to explode. Fannie and Freddie right now handcuff investors. You can have a max 5, maybe 10 properties, right? It's not scalable. You've got the debt to income restrictions. Okay. At some point, your debt to income ratios are going to possibly be too high and you're done. You can't close in an LLC. You can't do more than a 4-unit property. So it's just handcuff after handcuff. And I saw an opportunity and nobody does it. Like, loan officers, for some reason, have refused to get into this space. And like, I'm guilty. I was one of them, 5 years ago. I'd get a self-employed borrower and be like, oh, great. Like, they don't show any money. They're doing what government wants them to do and allows them to do, and like reinvest in their business. But they don't show any money. We couldn't get them approved. It was like a waste of time when you got a self-employed borrower. Now it's not. Now I'm like the solution to a lot of people's problems, investors and self-employed entrepreneurs. So, I've kind of made that a mission of mine. And I've become very passionate about it, as you can tell in my voice. I think it's one of those things, and with what we're going through as a society, we're almost like rewarding mediocrity, and we're penalizing those that are like putting it out there and working their ass off and taking risks. Like, they're the ones that are getting penalized. We're getting the short end of the stick, and it's time that somebody steps up and starts educating and kind of exposing the mortgage industry and exposing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for turning their backs on the people that built this country.
Right. Yeah. You do speak with a ton of passion. And the question that I kind of have is, when you're in that red ocean and you're going through all these things that are happening with the inventory problem, rates are high, all the same things that's knocking the average and lower than average MLO out because they just can't do it anymore. Was there like some sort of specific experience that you had that led you to shift your focus to this from the more traditional?
Yeah. So
I thought there was something there. I'm like, man, you're too passionate to not have a personal experience. Tell me about it.
That even made me smile how I responded to that. When I got back to PA, it was I worked for a refi shop. That's all we did for like 10 years. We wouldn't even do purchases because they were just a pain in the ass, and refis were so much easier.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
In 2016, rates had gone up again. They were like 6% for like the fourth or fifth time. Everybody that had to refinance had refinanced, probably like 2 or 3 times, right? It was dry. Refinances were pretty much dead. I had to get into the purchase world. And very quickly, I realized that required me to kiss realtors' asses, to put it bluntly, okay? And I'm not that guy. Like, I don't enjoy doing that. I'm not good at it, let alone being consistent at it. Like, I'm the guy that like has his hand up, and I don't enjoy like just taking. I just feel guilty. It's the way I'm built. So I started generating leads. I learned how to run Facebook ads to generate leads for agents. I would run them through their business pages, and that's how I would separate myself from the other LOs that were saying the same thing. I had great rates, great communication. My products are awesome, and I don't miss closing dates. Well, cool, dude. That's your job. So, like, way to go. What makes you different? You know, like these loan officers just have their hands out like this, and you see it on social media all the time. They just are up these agents' asses, and it's not conducive to a real partnership, right? So I've always been like, how can I help these agents make money? Like, I depend on them. Like, you know, I want their business so I can feed my family. How can I reciprocate that back to them? So that's kind of like what got me into the whole being different. And the non-QM space allows them to open up opportunities if they make the decision to lean in. I made 3 agents $45,000 last month in commissions because one of them or 2 of them listened to what I said. They went back into their database and found 2 self-employed borrowers and found out that they wanted to buy a house. And I closed both of them using, one was a bank statement loan, one was a 1099, 1 year of 1099s. And the one listing was on the market for 2 months, no offers. Seller was getting pissed. I come in with this non-QM borrower, get that house sold for her, right? So I made these 2 agents $45,000 in a month because they listened and they just did what I asked. Just go look, you know, I have it all. I have all this, you know, these programs and material for these agents to implement into their business and like educate their borrowers and themselves become educated with these programs. There is so much opportunity. And by doing this, you're now giving yourself the opportunity to be that guy, that only person in your local market that you send self-employed borrowers to that can't get approved by your other lender because he's too scared to go out into the non-QM space and get out of his comfort zone and he wants to swim in the red ocean. Now you're that person. I've been focusing on this for like 6 to 8 months and I'm getting calls already. Like, yo, I heard you're the guy that gets hard shit done. Yep, that's me. That's that's my rep. Like, everybody's coming to me when they can't get their guy approved at the regular loan officer shop who only wants to stick with conventional FHA and doesn't want to, you know, take the extra step to make sure he can handle self-employed borrowers. They all have these programs available. They just won't get out of their comfort zone. Either they're too lazy, they're scared, or they're afraid that that experience with that referral that the agent sent them isn't going to be a good one, and then they're going to lose the relationship with the agent. Their priority is more leaning towards the agent than the client, and that's not good, right? So there's just opportunity, and nobody's doing non-QM loans. You know, there's a few across the country that are really doing well. And I'm getting there, you know, but I'm helping a lot of people, and these transactions that I'm doing now are way more impactful. You know, these are people that
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Can't even buy their first home. They've been denied 2 or 3 times. And now I come in and save the day. Like, that's memorable shit. Like, they're not going to forget about me. They're not going to forget about that agent that sent them to me. So, this is, and, again, this is why I'm passionate about it. Like, there's a lot of opportunity to do a lot of good stuff with these programs.
Yeah, love that. Now, you said something in there, like essentially what you were getting at, and I'd like to throw in another point in there, and it's not technically real estate related. I was watching an interview when Jeff Bezos was being interviewed about Amazon's success, and I'm going to botch the numbers, but just for perspective, for everybody, he was talking and he goes, well, I own 11% of Amazon or whatever it was, and he goes, yeah, sure, I'm worth $300 billion, and he goes, when you look at it, when our company's worth X amount of money, he goes, even though this is what I'm worth, I only own such a small percentage that yes, I've theoretically created this value for myself, but I've also created 700 billion or 1.4 trillion of dollars for other people.
Okay.
And so on a obviously a smaller scale, but like to your point of helping agents make money instead of going and doing the ass kissing and whatever else, you literally helped them make money to get what they wanted before you could get what you wanted, which is the whole principle Zig used to talk about it back in the day. Old Zig, right? If you just help enough other people get what they want, you'll eventually have everything that you want. Where did that mindset come from when you were approaching it from that stage? What caused you to think differently like that?
It's just been ingrained in me. Like, I've thought about that, and like even like every day, like outside of work, I can't sit down and like watch somebody cook dinner like at my house or like do dishes without asking them, do you need help? I feel like a piece of shit. Like, why am I sitting on my ass? Like, they could probably use my help. I don't know. Like, I had really good parents, blue collar, and I've been brought up with Christ, and I'm faithful, and like I've just been taught manners and respect for people, and I've not always been perfect. I've had my periods in life like everybody, but it's just always I can't sit around and let other people do the work and expect to like benefit from it. I just think that's real shitty, and it's like I don't want to work with that person. Like, and here's the other thing, and this was all kind of confirmed back in the refi boom of 20 to 22. I made the amount of money that I always thought I had to make me happy. Okay. And when I made that kind of money and I wasn't happy, I was like, oh shit, like this is not good. Like, I've been thinking about this for like 20 years, and I finally got here and I feel exactly the same. It's cool. Like, I have more money, but like this doesn't do it for me. And this has been like my battle for a long time. And I really focused in on finding out what fulfilled me. And what fulfills me is helping people and being productive and being able to contribute and being a blessing and not a burden. And that's it's just carried through to where I am right now. I've had a journey with God and Christ, and I'm at the point a couple months ago where I went through like a transformation, and there was something that happened where that just made me realize, like, dude, there's something bigger than like this. Like, there's something way bigger out there for you than just the almighty dollar. And this just kind of goes into it, man. And After dealing with veterans where I really felt good about what I was doing and I was passionate, I hadn't been passionate about mortgages for 20 years. It's just like it didn't do it for me. I did it because I could make money, right? Like it's a job. Like, who likes their job? Um, but now I've got this fire, and with everything that's happened in our country the last 4 years, there's some things that just aren't right, man. And it's time for people to stand up and talk. We've been muzzled for the last 4 years. And the fact that the people that build this country, this world, are the ones that are getting the short end of the stick just doesn't sit right with me, man.
You have a real justice centered MO. Where does that come from?
My parents, same, it's like right and wrong. Like I grew up I'm 46 years old. When I was a kid, like, dude, it was like, this is right, this is wrong, man. And when you do something wrong, there's consequences.
Mm.
There are repercussions. That's how you learn. And with everything going on today, these kids, you're seeing what the result is of parents being more concerned with being their friend than their parents.
Mm.
And it's not good. These kids have zero respect. They have zero manners. They don't know the difference between right and wrong because they never hear the word no. They never suffer any consequences or repercussions. So when they get into the real world and the real world kicks their ass, like, they're done for. Like, I got a 13 and 11-year-old boy, and I keep telling him, like, man, you get a little savage in you, like, you're gonna kill this world because, like, your competition is so soft, like,
Yeah.
so soft. Like, I wish I was a kid right now. Like, I would crush it by the time I'm 16
Yeah.
because these kids are weak, man. Like, they're weak, they're lazy, they can't look you in the eye when they talk to you.
Right.
But yeah, man, I just, like, look, I've made mistakes and I've owned them, and people make mistakes. Own it and be able to forgive. I've been forgiven a lot, so, like, I have to forgive.
Sure. Yeah, that's man, that's so cool that you touched on that a little bit because man, I relate to that so much. My wife, like any good wife and good mom who wants to protect her kids, sometimes thinks I'm a little too hard on them. But there'll be those moments where I'm like losing it on my 10-year-old, who's also like it's an interesting dynamic because he's technically my stepson, but I'm dad. But anyways,
Yeah,
that's a whole other story for
I've
another
been there.
day. But it's like it's one of those things like I'll look at him and he's crying and I'm just like, look, dude, you don't understand. It's not about this moment right now. I'm not upset at you. I just don't want you to grow up and be poor. Like, so if you don't figure this out, then you're gonna have problems later. So like it's not
I want
about
to be
this
living in my
moment.
house when you're 30.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, dude, you can figure out how to get the fence open and take the trash can out. It's not that hard.
They're not good problem solvers, man. They're
Yeah.
not. That's the big thing. Like, they can't figure anything out. I'm like, dude, like, I coach some of my kids, my kids' teams, and every year I ask the other coaches, I'm like, dude, were we this stupid when we were little? Like, there's no way we were this dumb. Like, these kids they're dumb. And it's just like, and it's all kinds of stuff. It's not their fault. It's like the phones. Everything is just
Yeah.
this away. They don't use their minds,
Right.
you know?
They
And
don't get they don't
it's,
get bored enough, man. They don't get
they
bored enough to
don't.
where they have to tap into that imagination and that creativity.
Yeah, you wonder why ADD and ADHD is at an all-time high? Like, because
Mm,
these kids need, like, instant gratification.
right.
Like, none of
It's
these kids
constant
play
dopamine.
baseball anymore because baseball is a slower sport.
Right.
They hate it. It's so boring to them. And it was boring to me. So imagine what it is to these kids. And I played it through college. I loved it. But it was still boring, you know?
Love it. The only reason I didn't, I played baseball too. The only reason I stopped doing it is because I was just tired of being out there on a Wednesday night when it was hot as hell outside. And I'm like, you know what? I like basketball more. I'm indoors. I still sweat. No, I get it. So tell me this. Tell me this with what you've got going on specifically. How is it that you can help? Like, let's say there's an investor out there right now, or somebody that's self-employed, or whatever that might be. and they're looking to maybe purchase another rental property, something along those lines. They're wanting to use traditional financing, maybe not hard money or something along those lines. Like, how do you really help real estate investors or people that are self-employed to acquire properties? What's the big benefit that you provide to them?
Number one, it's access to be able to do it. Investors, I'll start with investors. Again, like Fannie just handcuffs them. A lot of like these non-QM products are not new. They've been around for a long time. Like DSCR loan is your debt service coverage ratio loan for investors. It was specifically designed for investors that you can only do it on investment properties. So this DSCR loan takes all those handcuffs that Fannie puts on you and removes them. Like you can have unlimited amount of finance properties. I've got investors that do the Burr method. They got 100 properties. They use private capital to raise the funds, buy the homes, renovate it, refinance it through me on the DSCR, cash out 80%, no seasoning, and they pay their investors back, and they just keep doing it over and over again. I got an investor that's sending me 4 or 5 refis a month, and he's just flipping them, but he holds them. But he puts them all in his LLCs. There's no income, right? It's just straight cash flow. Rents have been doing really well for a long time now. You've got your rates are a little bit up there right now, but so are rents, but like I have zero. I don't think I've had a property come back that was under like 1.15 as far as the ratio goes. And like we do no ratio DSCR. We go down to 75% or 0.75 to 1.25 is the sweet spot.
Right.
But we'll do no ratio loans. We do, loans that are vacant. Like this, again, back to this investor, he's renovating these things. And when he gets to me, they're all vacant. And I refinance them all the time. They don't have to have leases in them. You close them in your LLC. Any investor out there that's got any investment properties in their personal name, I don't know how they sleep at night. The way this country is right now, and people just trying to make a buck and sue you for anything. And the problem is the justice system allows it because, again, there's no repercussions, right? You just do whatever you want now and get away with it. I don't know how you sleep at night. So like I'm trying to yeah, the interest rate's a little bit higher on a DSCR, like maybe 1%. So yeah, your payment's like $30, $40 more a month. Number one, you pass it on to your renter. Number two, isn't that worth it compared to potentially losing your entire net worth by one lawsuit? So like they're the kind of things that I go over with my investors, that have a portfolio. Like, hey, these loans are still conventional loans. You may want to think about refinancing them, especially with what's about to happen. These rates are going to come down eventually. Refinance these loans, cash out if you want, right? Get some more capital so you can continue buying properties, and get them locked up into an LLC so you can, not worry about somebody, claiming, false action, lawsuit against you and losing your wealth. Self-employed borrowers and entrepreneurs, minimum 10% down, bank statement loans, 12 months or 24 months, no MI. So you're only putting 10% down, but there's no PMI. And honestly, those loans are easier than, qualifying for your conventional, conventional loans, FHA loans, they go up your, what, when they're looking at your income.
Right.
We're literally talking 12 months of bank statements, and as long as you're making money, they're doing an average. They look at your business deposits, they do an average minus 10%, and there's your income.
Yeah.
So, and these bank statement loans, these 1099 loans, you can do them on primary, secondary, or investment properties. And look, DSCR loan isn't always the best route, but 9 times out of 10 it is, and it's the smartest route.
Man, David, thanks so much for being on the show today. If anybody wants to learn more about you, what you're working on, where should they go?
I'm all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I do a lot of content, a lot of videos. That's another thing that I'm becoming very passionate about. I majored in marketing in college, and I'm finally like using it 25 years later. So that's kind of cool. Phone number 610-764-9775. You can go to dsteckel at surgema.com for Surge Mortgage Advisors. I'm going to be putting some webinars together. I'm going to be getting out there, man. We'll definitely stay in touch, and hopefully we can push it out to your audience.
For sure, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here again. And, go drop him a follow. His handle is Loans by Steck on pretty much every platform. You heard it here first. Yeah, I love it, man. You heard it here first, folks. But go check him out and give him some love. And then if you are somebody that might be in need of something like this, go ahead and holler at him as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. We'll see y'all on the next episode.
See you guys.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.